Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I decided to go over to my friend's house and interview him about his snake business, so stay tuned. Okay, so how many snakes do you have?
Right now we roughly have 12 ball pythons and 2 of the carpet pythons. These are the carpets over there. And here's just one of the ball pythons.
Say if I were to just get started today, what will I need?
To get started, you would have to go. First of all, you want to decide what snake you want to work with. If it be ball pythons, king snakes, carpet pythons, whichever. Find a snake that you're passionate about. Go and get your female first because your females take the longest. Ball pythons, you're looking at roughly 2 years would be about the bare minimum until they're ready to breed. Normally it's about 3. Get your male roughly around on your second year of her growing. That's when I would get your male. If you want to start off with a little bit more aggressive approach, I would get like 2 females or 3 females at one time. And then about the 2-year mark, then go get your 1 male for them because males can actually breed in their first year. So that's the big key there. A lot of people they just go and grab like 2 males and 2 females or something like that. You're better off spending your money on getting your females first and then just get 1 really nice male because 1 male can breed several females. After you figure out what you're going to do there with those as far as what genes and snakes you're going to work with, you want to go get a rack system and a thermostat. I have 2 different rack systems here. One like this, which is the ARS racks, and another one would be a rack system somewhat like this, where they're a lot smaller, holds about 5 adults. They make them in different sizes, of course.
So how much would a rack system like that cost?
This one, for as many sections as that on it, is about, I'm going to say between 500 and 600. This one you can add as you need, which is why I went with it. And it's one of the best manufacturers in my opinion. And same thing with the hatching rack. I just went and got as many sections as I thought I needed and could afford at the time because I got them both at the same time. Within this next season here, I'm going to be adding on to that because I've rapidly realized that I produced way more babies than I thought I actually would this year. On top of the rack systems, like I said, you want to get a good quality thermostat. I love the herp stats like this. They're about, I think a herp stat 2 is around a little over $200, I think. As far as the breeding aspect of it, you'll want to go and get yourself a decent incubator, or you can do like I did and find an old Coke fridge and basically gut the whole thing, take out all the refrigerator components, and put heat tape on the inside there. I'm going to put some heat tape in there with a fan blowing from the top to keep the air circulating. And that basically all there is to it. I mean, it's not a very complicated ordeal. That's also run on a thermostat too.
Say if I wanted to just like buy like a male and a female, would that work for me, that system there?
Yeah, a lot of people keep snakes in like the glass terrariums. The only issue is that they do lose humidity out through the top because of the screen. That's the one main factor is like some of my females I actually started breeding this year in glass terrariums, and then I moved them into the rack system once I got it. For me, at this point, it's not as effective because you can see all the space here that just for 2 snakes it takes, as opposed to the same amount of space, and I can put 12 snakes in. So it's a lot more space efficient to go a rack system. Plus, like if you go the ball python route, ball pythons love small contained spaces because, let's see if I can't find one here. 9 times out of 10, they're just kind of coiled up, not really doing a whole lot. And she's looking at me like she wants fed.
How much does each snake cost to buy?
That there is a very, very broad spectrum. You can go some shows, you can go to a reptile show and find a normal, say, for $25-$50 to, let me see here. Let me think about the most expensive one I have in here at the moment. This one is probably the most expensive. He was $500, which that's about what the going price for those are. Now, I did produce one this year that's actually roughly in the neighborhood of about 900. And it's actually one of his babies. This one here is roughly around would be worth roughly around $900 just because of the genes that are in it with how the pattern is.
Where would you go to find out the value of each snake?
I go and I base what the going rate for them is off of Morph Market.
Morph Market.
Morph Market, yeah. It's a basically it's a website where all sorts of snake breeders, lizard breeders, turtle breeders, they all basically start a store up on that, which I just got approved for. As you accumulate stuff to sell, you'll go and put it on there, and you can set it to worldwide. You can set it to just like in the United States, which is how I have mine set up. You can type in like the different type of genes you're looking at, and it'll bring you up a list of all the snakes in that species that have those genes. And I just basically go through there and be like, okay, that's roughly, say that, for instance, that one I just showed you. On there, roughly one that looks like that is going for about $800-900.
How often can you actually breed snakes, and how many eggs do they lay per season?
You can breed them once a year. So I have most of my 3 females I have, they've already laid. I have 1 more clutch on the way. So I won't start pairing them again. I started pairing them last year around October, November. Right when we start to get that change of weather into the cool season is when you start pairing, at least for ball pythons. Not exactly sure for other snake species. I would assume it's probably about the same time. But normally it's the change of the seasons that gets them going. The breeding process will take up to, started in October, November. They didn't start laying until May was my earliest clutch. And before you breed them a second time, if you're going to breed the same female for 2 years in a row, you have to make sure that they get back up to weight. That's the big thing. You don't want to overstress them. So you do have to get them back up to a certain weight. And for ball pythons, the minimum that I do is like 1,500 grams. I did have one female that's about 4 years old and bred her. She's under 1,500, but she's had the age. She's just kind of a smaller female in general. But I did breed her, and she gave me a clutch of 4 eggs. As far as the egg count, that is basically, I've heard of people you can get clutches of non-fertile eggs, which are slugs, which basically means none of the eggs got fertilized. They're no good. So you could end up with a clutch of nothing. To the biggest clutch I had this year was 7. I've heard of clutches for ball pythons up to into the teens as far as how many eggs. So it's kind of age determines how many eggs you get, the size of the female determines, and just ultimately luck.
All right, where can we find you?
So we have Facebook. Check out Warfel's Morphs on Facebook. YouTube, go to Warfel's Morphs as well for that. And we actually have a Morph Market account. There's nothing on it yet, but that's also under Warfel's Morphs. So come check out the YouTube. It's actually got some pretty cool content. It has the clutch cuttings from Clutch 1 and Clutch 2. So it's got some reviews on different things like substrates and the rack. It's just got a lot of good content. We're just starting it out, so all the support's much appreciated.